Hey everybody, and welcome back to Life with Lolo. It is time for our weekly recap of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. This is season 1, episode 7, and it was titled Fashion Faux Pas. Alright, y'all, so I know it's Christmas Eve, and y'all probably not gonna watch this video today, but y'all got what, like 2 weeks to watch it? Because I don't know if it's coming on next week. But if it is, then y'all just got a week to watch it and whatever. So just watch it at y'all leisure. At any rate, I wanted to first say happy holidays to everybody. I hope you enjoy your holiday with your family, your loved ones, and all that other good stuff. And if you like this recap review, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. If you're watching this review recap, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and a notification bell to be notified when I drop new videos. All right, now that that's out the way, let's jump into this episode. It really wasn't a lot, so this video finna be real short. We picked up where we left off last week, where they were getting ready for the fashion show in City Park. So everybody getting prepped and ready and everything like that. I'm about to say Meredith. Yeah, it is Meredith. Meredith was telling us why she can't move from Salt Lake City because she needs to be here at a fashion show. She needs to network. She needs to build up her clientele and stuff like that. So that's why she can't really leave City Park, Utah. But she also said she couldn't live in Utah or something like that. No offense to Utah. So does he live in Utah, but just like a different area, or does he live somewhere else? Because honestly, I cannot remember, and I'm not finna go back and figure it out. But y'all let me know down there in the comments. Mary, she said she was excited about the fashion show and that fashions were being brought to Utah and stuff. And then she got all like, oh my God, can I say that? Because she said that fashion in Utah was the pits. I was like, girl, you have said much worse. But anyway, she sees Jen because she's there. Like Heather's there. All the ladies was there. You know, Whitney was in the show. Heather, Jen, Mary were in the stands, or in the thing, and Meredith was in the back. So that's everybody, right? That's 5 people. There's only 5 ladies, yeah. So, oh no, Lisa was Lisa there? No, Lisa wasn't there. She was doing something else. But everybody else was there or whatever. So, Mary sees Jen. She's like, oh God, oh my Lord, I'm just gonna ignore her. I'm not gonna say nothing to her, yada yada yada. So then Jen sees Mary and she like, oh my God, why is she here? But then Mary ended up sitting next to Jen, and then Mary tried to make small talk and tell Jen that she was looking cute. Jen just looked at her like, she ain't say nothing, no thank you, no, oh well thank you, you look cute, nothing. I said, ooh. So then we see Whitney. She in the back. She kind of nervous because the shoes is kind of hard and stuff like that. And then they did something on the open toe sandal, like the high heel open toe sandal. I don't wear them anymore because like your feet slide to the front too much, and then they be all on the ground, and you know and you got all this back in the back. Y'all ladies know what I'm talking about. Some of the men who wear them shoes too might know what I'm talking about too. But you know how the back be just all this, and then your foot be all over top the front, and then you just be looking crazy. That's why, because it look like your shoe too small, but you know it's not. But your toes touching the ground. Anyway, y'all know what I'm talking about. Cause your feet be sliding. But anyway, they put some hairspray on the shoe. I didn't even know that trick. Has anybody ever used that? Does that really work for like a long term if you're wearing those shoes? If so, I might go back to wearing those shoes. Again, y'all let me know down there in the comments. Whitney looked cute. She was strutting down the runway or whatever like that. She did a real good job. Meredith, I thought she was kind of stiff, but I don't know. Brooks, he just seemed too much. Like, he cute and everything, but he just seemed too much, child. Why his sweatsuits was all the same? Like, it was literally the same sweatsuit, minus he had like tape patches like cross, but the other one, it was the same sweatsuit. And then Jen was talking about something. She been rocking that sweatsuit for months. But does one sweatsuit make a collection? I don't think so. But I was like, maybe it should have been like in different, at least it could have been in different colors. It was just, I don't know. To me, it just was like, you was nervous because of that. Okay, whatever. Who is me? I'm not no fashion designer. So, who is me? Like, I make custom shirts and all that other stuff, but, y'all, child. Anyway, we gonna move on along. He FaceTimes his dad after the whole thing over with, because you know he's still visibly upset that his dad wasn't there for his first fashion show or whatever. So his dad gets on the FaceTime and he like, "Ooh, y'all look real interesting" or whatever. He was like, that's quite a word to use, interesting. Like, you could have said we look cute, we look fierce, we look something, but interesting, like, you don't know what to call it. So He was like, no, I'm just asking, like, how did it go? What happened? Yada, yada, yada. And Brooks was like, well, I wish my father was here to support his only son and all this other stuff. The dad was like, look, I'm getting anxiety from this conversation. Can you just write it down in a letter or a text message and we'll talk about it later? So he was just like, all right, Dad, bye. So Meredith, of course, she feels guilty because she asked for him to give her space, and he's giving her the space, but she feels guilty because he's giving her the space, but then it's like taking her away from, him away from the kids or whatever like that. Granted, he could have gave her space, but he could have also showed up for his son at the fashion show. Him giving her space don't have nothing to do with him still being involved in his children. Like, he didn't have to go backstage or nothing like that. He could have sat in the front row, saw Brooks go down the runway, and then when it was over, met him outside or met him somewhere away from Meredith, gave him a hug, congratulated him and stuff like that, and then went on about his way. He didn't have to be a Meredith face or anything like that. So her feeling guilty and his reason for not showing up is BS. Then we saw Lisa. We saw like little snippets. So we saw Lisa selling her blinged out alcohol bottle to some guy. We saw Brooks and Meredith talking. Apparently he sold out all his tracksuits. So hey, again, who is me? Okay, maybe he could come and teach me a little something. Okay. Why was he drinking a grapefruit with a straw? Like a whole grapefruit with a straw? They ain't got grapefruit juice? Okay. We see Mary. She's talking to her son. I don't know if he was at the boarding school or something, but he ain't come home the night before, and she was just like fussing at him. But then she was like, "Oh, I missed you though." So I was like, "You ain't really do nothing, but whatever, child." Then we see Whitney. So Whitney, she got an appointment at Heather's Botox beauty lab or whatever like that. And she got a rash from the makeup. So she basically there to get a facial and stuff like that. And she's talking to Heather. And Heather is, you know how Heather, she going through this whole story about her being lonely, how she was a Mormon, how she got divorced, how she probably won't find nobody, yada, yada, yada. We know the story over and over and over again. And so Whitney was basically telling her like it's a thumb that you're still under in the Mormon religion and the Mormon community and stuff like that, because you are a single mother with children, and they're looked at differently than with the men who are divorced. Like, the men can go out here and continue to build and have relationships and yada yada yada, whereas the woman may not be able to do that in this community because she's looked at as like, you got 3 kids, you divorced, like, what's wrong with you? You failed at your marriage, like stuff like that. And that happens in other communities as well, not just in the Mormon community. It's harder for the women with children to find somebody or be with somebody versus the man or the woman who doesn't have the children or anything like that. So that's a stigma in all communities and stuff like that. But Heather was basically telling us that she was also telling us how she wants to drink, have sex, party, what Heather already doing pretty much, but she still want to be a Mormon, but she can't be a Mormon if she want to partake in all those things. So she was talking to Whitney about that. Whitney was telling us about her dad, how he's in sober living, but she's kind of skeptical of it. But then again, she sees like he initiated all of this stuff, so she's proud of him. And then she was talking about how the Mormon community turned their back on her dad, basically because like they figure if you did the drugs, that's your consequence for doing those drugs. Like, you gotta find your way out of it on your own type thing. And I'm like, damn, that's some tough ass love, but that's what they believe in. I don't understand that, because you should have your brother or sister's back when they going through something like that. But they was just like, what else, child? Oh, and Heather also said she was going to talk to the kids and stuff like that and see if they really wanted to still be in that lifehood. But they also said, like, 2 episodes ago, that they ain't really want to go to church because the people too damn going judgmental and stuff like that. So who knows, child? But anyway, we see Jen. She getting ready in the morning time. Her maid or housekeeper or somebody was bringing her breakfast and her medication, and that's what we found out, that she takes medication for depression and anxiety. Because when her father died, she started lashing out at everybody. She was real moody. She didn't want to really talk to anybody or anything like that. And at first, her husband was like, "Well, you need to pray about it, and everything gonna be okay." And she was like, "Look, I prayed about it, and it's not working. So I need something else to stabilize me." And that goes on in Black communities a lot, and that's the stigma that, you know, God does work miracles and stuff like that, but he also helps those who help themselves. And by her getting on medication, is her helping herself, so therefore he can help her better. um and that's what she ended up doing, and now she's doing better, she's feeling better, she's not lashing out and stuff. And she also said, like, her rock bottom was when her husband was basically like, "Look, I'm finna leave you or whatever because you can't get it together." But my thing is, you ain't want her to get on medication. So when she was lashing out and being depressed and aggressive and stuff like that, because depression is not just you being depressed or being sad or you not wanting to do stuff. Depression is also lashing out, mood swings, up and down, not being able to sleep, not being able to eat, a lot of stuff. So depression comes in different folds. People just think depression is just like, "Oh, I'm just tired, I'm just whatever, I'm not going to clean up, yada yada yada." Depression comes in different folds. It comes with aggressiveness, and it comes with mood swings and other elements and stuff like that. Also anxiety. So him telling her like, "Oh, I'm going to leave you because you don't want to get, you not doing better, you're not pulling yourself out of it or whatever like that," was kind of like wrong for him, because you told her not to go on the medication. You wasn't in support of her being on the medication, but now you want her to get, like, come on now. But whatever. Obviously he jumped on board because she was like, "Look, I went to my doctor. He said I need to get on this medication." So then she talked to her family about it, and she said she felt ashamed at first because she was going to have to get on the medication. But her son was like, "Look, I want you to get better. I don't care about that. So get on these pills," basically. So she got on them and she doing better. But she says that her family keeps her accountable and stuff. So she was basically calling her husband in this scene while she was eating her breakfast and was like, "Look, I'm feeling kind of moody right now, so I just wanted to let you know what was going on with me." And he was just like, "Well, did you take your meds? You eating something? Like, after you do all that, I want you to take a little nap." So he's in support now because he probably has a better understanding. Like, some people do need medication to help them be proactive and be better, be look better quality of life or whatever. They need that. So it's nothing to be ashamed of. And I wish people, especially Black people, stop thinking that's because you take medication for something you're not as strong or you're not able to do stuff. This is a stigma against you, or this says what, you know, you're less than and all the other stuff. Like, because you're not. Like, you just need something else to help you be productive and be better in life and so forth. And you can still pray and God will still accept you and so forth. Just because you take medication does not push you away from your spirituality or your faith and all the other stuff. It just gives you a better chance to be more productive in life. That's my little testimony, soapbox, whatever you want to call it. That's my little FYI for y'all. But anyway, moving on. We see Lisa. Lisa is boring and annoying. I don't hope anybody relationship dissolves or anything like that. But if Lisa don't get it together, that man might not be around for too long. She might be in a Meredith and Seth situation quicker than she thinks she will be in, because she just all about work, 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 work. Like, she like a good family night for me is having like a goals chart or being yeah, like a goals chart or stuff like that. It's not about family fun times. It's not about games and all this other stuff. And I'm like, that's kind of for the children, because like they should be able to play a little couple games and stuff. Like, you don't gotta play Monopoly. It's other games out there, Uno, like it's other games out there. I'm about to say Parcheesi, but but anyway, it's other games out there that she could play with the family other than Monopoly, or doing family goals and stuff like that, because they need like fun stuff, entertaining stuff or whatever, stuff to build them, have laugh and joke and all that other stuff, not all about goals, goals, goals. So she got them sitting there doing like a vision board or whatever. I mean, that's cool and everything. to do so your children can have something to look forward to. So I'm not knocking it, but she is just like a buzzkill. And if y'all watch it, y'all can see what I'm talking about. She want to talk about goals. The kids had like little cute things to like beat the game. The oldest son was like he gonna be the woman slayer or something. What did he say? He said something. I wrote it down because I thought it was funny. Oh, lady slayer. He gonna be a lady slayer. And the other child, the young one, is this Henry? Yeah, well, I don't know what the younger, I can't think of the younger child name, but he was like, he want to have triplets. He want to kiss a girl at 15. So his stuff was fun. Lisa, all she's talking about is expanding the business, expanding this, doing this, getting growth and stuff, being a better listener. But then when her husband was talking to her when they was in the bedroom, she wasn't even listening to him. She was sending out text messages. Like, what time is it? Like, your business should stop at a certain time so you can partake in your family. Like, be in the moment with your family, make memories with your family, not be on the phone sending out text messages, emails, and all that other stuff. Like, be with your family. Your business should be from, like, if it's from 7 to 7, let it be from 7 to 7. And then after 7, be with your family. Or 9 to 5, be in that mood. But then after 5 o'clock, be with your family. She just all day, all day, all day. And he like, look, just because she hear me don't mean she a better listener. And we need to do things that's going to build us. And like, you can say no to people. And she like, well, I don't need no partner who's going to tell me I need to say no and all this other stuff. And I was just like, girl, because she wanted her 5-year plan is to be a billionaire and all the other stuff. And I'm like, that's nice and that's a nice goal and stuff. But if your family dissolves, like you lose your family, is it worth it? I don't know. You can't sleep with that money at night. Anyway, Meredith, Jen, and Heather, they out eating and stuff, and they're just talking about the fashion show, whatever. And they asked Heather about the guy that she left the party with and stuff like that. And she was like, yeah, you know, it was a short-lived love affair, whatever. And they was like, what? And she was like, yeah, he lives in Atlanta and LA, so, you know, we really can't be all that together and stuff like that. And then they start asking Meredith about Seth and their separation. Meredith is real like with the politician answers. She just don't want to answer the questions of why they getting separated, what's going on. She was like, well, him being away and not being at the fashion show made me miss him, and him not being in the kids' life made me think about some things. So she was just like talking like that. And then so I think Jen asked her like, so like, once you find yourself, because Meredith said that they are separated because they need to work on themselves individually and then figure out what's going on with themselves together, which is good. Because they've been together for what, 23 years? So at that point, they need to refine themselves. And if they were all focused on the kids at one point and stuff like that, so they need to, you know, go within or whatever. So that's what they're going to do. And so Jen asked her, so if you find yourself and you realize that you don't want to be in this relationship, what is that going to do? She didn't really have an answer for that or whatever, because she just basically said, like, our goal is to kind of refine each other or whatever. So they was just looking at her like, okay. Because they was not believing her. Because she was not really going in on what was the issue. We saw Whitney and her dad at Sky Zone. And they were having a good time, and she was excited because he was actually being a grandfather to the kids and stuff, and the kids actually missed him and whatnot. So she was happy that he was there and whatnot. And the dad sound like he ready to get back out and be productive in the world. And not Heather, Whitney is nervous about that because she like, remember what happened? Like, you supposed to be in the sober living program for 90 days. It's only been 21 days. Like, go through the rest of the days. Like, you may feel good. You may feel like you can move out there in the world, but let's just take it one day at a time and let's do the program. He like, well, you know, my therapist thinks I should go out there and get a job, get an apartment and stuff like that. She like, remember what happened when you got out of rehab after 30 days? Like, you could not do it. Like, I'm worried. The daddy really wasn't listening, and I hope he listens and stay in that sober living program for the whole 90 days so he can really feel like he back on his feet. Because right now he feeling good because he in the program, but it's just like, a high right now that he's feeling. He's not really thinking about what can go on or what can happen and make him relapse and stuff like that. It's the same when people take their medication and they start feeling better and stuff like that. So then they stop taking their meds and then they plateau and then they back to feeling the way they. So like he needs to go through the whole program. I pray that he looks back at this and listens to her or takes the moment to listen, because I would hate to see him relapse, because he seemed like a good dude with a good head on his shoulders and stuff like that, and he has the good support from Whitney. So I just hope that he really like sits back and lets someone know like, this is what my daughter is thinking, what do you think, type thing, and then really sits back and processes it and does the whole 90 days. But I don't know. Then we saw Heather with her daughters. Basically it was like a little tearjerker situation where she was basically telling the kids that she don't want to be in that lifestyle anymore. She doesn't want to be a Mormon anymore, and she wants to denounce from the church or whatever. And she was scared to tell them, but like kids always do, they are watching and learning from you and stuff like that. So when you have a moment where you feel like you're weak or you feel like you failed them and stuff like that, they will surprise you and you be like, who kid is this? Like, I have had those moments, especially recently, where it's just like, wow, who really was watching and learned and all that other stuff. So they basically told her, like, look, you have been our rock. You, we admire you and stuff like that, and we support you in your decision. Like, go out there, find love, and yada, yada, yada. So I was just like, oh, that's really cute. So, like I said, kids will surprise you all the time. But that's basically what their conversation was about. And I guess now she officially gonna denounce or remove herself from the Mormon church and stuff like that, because Heather is already doing all the things that she said she want to do, and then you on TV doing it, girl. They gonna put you out before you pull yourself out, so you might as well do it before they do. Anyway, we at Whitney's place, so Jen is there and they just playing on the pole, and Whitney trying to teach Jen some moves, and Jen like, what, girl, go to basics. So they doing that, and it was real cute or whatever. And then Jen and Whitney started talking about Meredith or whatever. Well, they was talking about sex. Somehow they was talking about sex. And Jen was basically saying she lonely, and how she was asking Whitney how often her and her dude do it. She was like, we do it like 4 to 5 times a week or whatever. And Jen was like, oh, I mean, that's normal. I was like, girl, now you know you ain't getting it that often with Shy. But whatever. And Whitney, she a free spirit. I like her. I really do like her. But then they got on Meredith and Seth. And Jen was alluding to Meredith having someone else, because that's basically the conversation. And Whitney was like, what are you talking about? Like, what do you know? She was like, I don't know. You need to ask Meredith. Because throughout the whole episode, especially when they finished, when Jen, Heather, and Meredith had lunch, dinner, whatever, Jen kept alluding to the fact that there is a reason why people get separated. You just don't get separated. And sometimes you do just get separated. Sometimes it's some cheating going on, or it's too much arguing, or whatever is going on. That's why they get separated. But she's alluding to the fact that Meredith has another dude, and that she cheating. That's why she wants the separation. That's why she pushed the separation, because she said that she met Meredith in New York, and some guy was like, oh, I love Meredith. She's the love of my life. I'm going to marry her. And she was thinking like, ain't she already married? And then the guy was like, oh, I'm going to make sure she gets to her room. Don't worry about her. And so I guess the guy went to Meredith's room with Meredith or whatever. So that's what Jen is alluding to, that she was sleeping with this guy. I think that Meredith is seeing someone. That's what I have always felt from the beginning. So, I mean, it's not that far-fetched, but Jen don't need to be putting that out there in the atmosphere if it's not true, because that could be real damaging to their relationship. Especially, we see that Seth really want to be with her, but Meredith really don't. So it kind of fits what Jen is saying, but then again, you just don't know, and that could be real heartbreaking and damaging to Seth and the family if they find out that this is what Meredith is doing or whatever. So I don't know, but she need to make it clear. She don't need to be spreading rumors like that, especially in that little area, because news be traveling fast. So, But anyway, that pretty much was the episode. Y'all let me know how y'all felt about this week's episode. Like I said, if you're watching this review recap and you enjoyed it, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. And also hit that subscribe button and a notification bell to be notified when I drop new videos. All right, y'all. Until next time. Peace.